Hello children. Now in this presentation I will be teaching about the representation of geographical features, and this presentation is for class 8th. Children, you must be remembering that when you were in class 7th you were taught with the first chapter that was also the representation of geographical features, which was about the topography, that what is topography, what is scale, what are colors used in the topographical map, and what are the human settlements. Now in this chapter we will study this topography in the advanced form. Like in this chapter we will study about the contours. Now what are contours? Contours are the imaginary lines that join the places of equal altitude above the mean sea level. Now contours are the brown thin lines. These are represented by the brown thin lines on the topographical map. Like for example, there is a mountain, and there is a escarpment form of the mountain, or there is a conical hill, saddle, or plateau. So all these landforms are represented with the help of the contours on the topographical map. Now depending upon the shape and structure of the contours, we can identify the various relief forms related to the col, saddle, peak, escarpment, etc. Now contours are represented by the brown thin lines on the topographical map. Now when these lines are closely placed, then they represent a steep slope. When these lines are closely placed on the topographical map, they represent a steep slope. And when they are farther apart, then they represent a gentle slope. Contour interval is like maybe 20 meters. Okay, it is 20 meters on the topo sheet of 45d by 7, 45d by 10, and this is a difference between the interval. It is drawn to a different intervals to represent a vertical and a horizontal differences. Like for example, the gradient. Now gradient means the slope. Gradient means the slope. Now the formula for gradient is vertical interval upon horizontal equivalent. Now vertical interval means that this is a vertical distance between the two successive contour lines, and the horizontal equivalent means that it is a distance between the horizontal distances between the 2 points, between any 2 points. So vertical interval upon horizontal interval, vertical interval upon horizontal equivalent, this is the formula for the gradient. Now children, contour identification. Now contour identification depends upon the shape and structure of contours. Like in the very first chapter of your geography, in the very first chapter, the contours have a different profile. Like for example, the conical hill. Now conical hill, the contours has a fewer contour lines, and the elevation of the hill is very low as compared to the mountain. So it is represented by the brown thin lines with very fewer contours. Now what is the difference between the contour lines of a plateau and the conical hill? Now in this contour lines of the plateaus, these are closely spaced contours. These are closely spaced contours, and the ridge contours are elongated. The ridge contours are elongated. I can also show you in the book for your reference. For example, this is a contour profile. This is a contour profile. This is a contour profile, and here is a mountain present on the physical feature. This is a mountain present in the physical form on the surface of the earth, and this mountain is represented by this feature on the contour line on the topographical map. Like for example, this is a plateau. Now in the plateaus, the contours are very much closely spaced. These are very much closely spaced. So this feature you find it on the ground, and this feature you find, this pattern you find on the topographical map. Here is a contour of a ridge. So ridge is a series of conical hills. What is a ridge? Ridge is a series of the conical hills, and this contour profile is elongated. This contour profile is elongated contours are shown. So here is a profile of a ridge. Now this is a saddle and gap. A low-lying areas between the summits is called as a gap, and from the gap the rivers are having its way. So this way you can see the contours have a different type of the shapes, size, spacings, and this all represents the contour profile. Now children, settlements. Children, there are two types of settlements: permanent settlement and the temporary settlements. The permanent settlements are concrete settlements, like the houses that you are living in. That is a permanent settlement. And this permanent settlement is represented by a shaded square of a hut. Shaded square of a hut. And a non-permanent hut is shown by a square, red square, which is unshaded from inside. So this is a permanent settlement and the temporary settlements. Now on the basis of, we will discuss some of the permanent settlements in detail. Like for example, nucleated settlement. Now what are the nucleated settlements? Nucleated settlements are those settlements which are found in the areas where population is very dense, all facilities are available, all occupational facilities are available, so people will like to live in that area only, where the availability of water is there, where the availability of schools are there, hospitals are there. So those areas will be densely populated. So those densely populated areas are called as the nucleated settlement. Like urban areas are having the nucleated settlements. Next is the dispersed settlement. Now dispersed settlements, these settlements are generally found in the rural areas where the facilities are less in comparison to the urban areas and population is also very thin. So houses are located farther apart. So this is a dispersed settlement. Now linear settlement, this settlement is across the transportation lines. Like for example, roadways, railways and canals. So all these settlements are across a roadway, railway or a canal. That is called as a linear settlement. And the fourth settlement is the radial settlement. Now in this radial settlement, the houses are located around a lake or a water body in a circular pattern. So this was about the settlement patterns. So in this chapter we have thrown some light on the contours and the settlements. Now interpretation of topographical map. See children, topographical map cannot be learnt. You have to interpret the topographical map, and this interpretation is done on the basis of colors. This interpretation is done on the basis of the contours. Interpretation is done on the basis of the settlements. Interpretation is done on the basis of drainage. So interpretation of topographical map is a reading of the topographical map and not the learning of the topographical map. So here in this chapter we have covered the following points. Now in very soon I will come with the presentation on my second chapter. Till then, goodbye.